Update Manager, you have to install the plugin. Then only you will see Update Manager. If you don't install the plugin, you're not going to see Update Manager. So the machine which you connect, which is this machine, I believe it is already, it should have Update Manager already, or else I will just install it now, because you won't have rights to do that. What is the IP address? 66, right? So this one also, if you go here, you don't see Update Manager. That's because you have to install the plugin. The Update Manager plugin needs to be installed on every machine. So did anybody look at the fault tolerance video? Anybody see that? You don't need to install for every ESX server. You need to install Update Manager for your vSphere client. That's it. Did anybody look at the fault tolerance video? No, right? Okay. Okay, so now that you installed Update Manager, you will be able to see that here. You can see that Update Manager is there. So it's the same Update Manager. You know, whatever we configured yesterday, the baselines, everything will be there because you configuring everything on the server. This is just a client which allows you to connect. So every vSphere client, you have to have the plugin to be installed. That's it. Okay. All right. So I'm going to minimize this. I'm going to start about, you know, we installed yesterday VMware vCenter standalone converter. So a few things I just want to quickly talk about. You know, converter is not a very difficult thing, but it is interesting product. We can do a lot of things. So I have done a lot of conversions by myself. You know, probably for the past 3-4 years I'm not doing that, but in the past I have done so many conversions, and believe me, when you go for a job, when you attempt for a job, you know, they expect you to do conversion. They expect you to show your skills in doing conversion jobs. So typically conversion jobs, you know, basically, for example, in our company, when we started, this was in 2002, 2003 time period, you know, that was the first time we implemented VMware. At that time, we never went and created VMs. At that point, the primary focus was to do consolidation. That means getting rid of our physical servers and move those physical servers to virtual machine. That was the goal, or that was the aim for doing virtualization those times. The advantage is that, you know, for example, just imagine, even in today, we have some servers that are built in in 2000, or maybe we have in fact in my office one of the application server that is still running Windows NT. You don't believe it. That's how it is when you have so large environments. You have servers running Windows NT. But anyway, this is what I'm trying to tell you. So these servers, they may be running on old Compaq servers. It may be running on old Dell or HP servers with 1 GB RAM, maybe some old processor. And it was designed, and it's a custom-made application. Probably one of your old employee might have designed that application. He left the company. In fact, he might have even left the country itself. Who knows? Nobody know how that application is configured. Nobody know how to troubleshoot problem. There won't be any problem. It is running. So it may be doing some very critical business job. Daily it may be doing some processing. So managers and people may not be comfortable reinstalling it on a new server. The thing is, the server application is now becoming slow. The server is so slow. The hardware, there are many reasons. Sometimes HP and all come back and say, we don't support this hardware anymore. Just like operating systems, companies may come back and say, I don't support this hardware anymore. So in that case, you are risking that thing because this is a very old server. How do you convert it? Converting means you have to buy a new server, and then you have to put the new operating system. Then you have to reinstall the application and all. But there is nobody knows how to do this. That is where the challenges are. Anyway, that is one case. Some other cases, for example, not recently. I'm just saying. One of my application managers came to me and said, "Hey, Deepu, we have to add more memory and CPU to these applications. We want to upgrade. We want to do an in-place upgrade of the hardware because we need more memory." Now the problem is the existing server does not have memory slots. It may not support more than 4 GB RAM. It may not support more than one processor. These are all the drawbacks. Now how do you do that? There is no way. So that is the time where you can actually chip in and say, what, you can convert that physical server into a virtual machine. And then once it becomes a virtual machine, then you can add as much as memory you want, as much as processor you want, whatever you want, you can do it. It is more flexible. And when you are doing a conversion, basically you are talking about an image level conversion. The whole operating system as if you are moving from or detaching from a physical hardware and making it into a virtual machine. So if I put it in a picture like this, this is how I will put that picture. Let us say you have a physical HP server. Inside the physical HP server, let us assume that you have your so-called operating system and the application. This is the so-called operating system and application. Here you have a virtual infrastructure. You build a VM. This means a VM means just a virtual machine, no operating system or inside anything. By using the converter tool, you can actually, what you are doing, when I say converting this old physical server into a VM means, what basically you are doing is you are actually just making an image of this whole thing and you are putting it inside this VM. Exactly like this. Now this is inside a VM, you can increase the memory of it, the CPU of it, because this is a virtual machine. The operating system is not going to change. But once you increase more memory, you may want to make some tweaking to the operating system and all. That's a different story. But you can now get rid of this thing. Now typically companies don't do that. They do is they actually don't move it. They actually make a copy of that. It's actually an image level copy and move it here. You move it here to a VM, check everything is good. If it is exactly same, is it working, is it uploading, it is starting, everything. Once you make sure that everything is good, then you can go and shut down this server and then make this as your actual production server. So typically when you do P2V conversions, it is actually a hot conversion. It is hot. When the actual server is running, that is when you make the copy. There is cold conversions are possible. So for example, so there are two times, again it is just like when we do the cloning. When do you do hot clone and when you do cold cloning? You can do cold cloning typically if it is a database server or an exchange server or something like that is having dynamically changing the data. You may want to consider doing cold cloning. Cold cloning cannot be done with the help of this product. To do cold cloning, VMware has a special product called VMware Converter Boot CD. That is a licensed product. You have to buy that product from them. It is a bootable CD with the conversion tool inside it. So what you have to do is you have to let us say you have a HP server like this. You want to convert, but you cannot convert this when the actual server is running. So what you have to do is first you come down and shut down this server. Then what you have to do is you put the CD, this boot converter CD on this server, and then restart the server so that it will boot from this CD, and you will get a screen on your thing, and it will walk you through the process of converting that whole image into a VM. So that requires a special license, but remember this, keep this in mind, that product is called as VMware Converter Boot CD. So when you go for interview, sometimes people may ask you, okay, I have a case like this, I have a physical server there, I want to convert, but that server is a dynamically changing server, the data is changing very frequently, I cannot do physical conversion, because if you convert it at the time data is changing, then the copy of your VM and the actual server is again two different versions. In that kind of situation is when you want to do a boot converter CD and do that. In that case, you shut down the server because there is no communications now. Then you can take an image, make sure that the image is good, and then you bring it to network. But that is not the thing we are doing here. I'm not going to show that here also. I don't have that product. That is a product you have to buy license. But if somebody asks you how do you do cold conversion, that is by using the product called VMware Converter Boot CD. It is a bootable ISO file you can buy, or you can burn it into a CD and then boot from that CD, and then it will walk you through the process of conversion. It will be exactly the same thing. So this is how you do. So this is one conversion. The other conversion is the normal conversion. That is what we're going to do now here. So let us say you have a server like this. Now you want to convert this server. So let us say the HR manager came and said, hey, you know, Deepu, I want to upgrade this server. So I say, you know, John or Josh, we cannot do this because, you know, why don't you convert this into a VM? And if there is an opportunity, you should always try to convert the server. That is what we as administrators should do, VMware administrators should do, because managing a physical server is a nightmare today. It's not only that, it is going to take a lot of resources. You know, you can imagine if you want to run 1,000 servers, physical servers, how much power you need, how much electricity you need, how much cooling you need, how much cables you need, how many racks you need, how much space you need. You know, it's all a lot of saving is there when you do server consolidation, when you convert physical servers to virtual machines. This was the earlier trend when I started working on VMware and all. Basically, everybody was looking at converting physical servers to virtual machines. Today, that is actually gone. Today, it is not just converting physical machines to virtual machines. That is not the primary focus. Today, it is more, you know, VMware or virtualization technology has improved a lot. People are looking at more from an agility perspective, moving. You know, when you have a VM, you have more flexibility. Backing up a VM is easy, moving VMs are easy, replications are easy. VMs are nothing but a set of files, so you can move them wherever you want. You can make changes, add memory, remove memory, and all very fast. Or remember, if old server, you have to order new memory, the memory will come, then you shut down the server, put the memory. You know, now is it even with today's world with Windows 2008 R2 and all, hot pluggable memory, hot pluggable CPUs, you can do that everything when the server is running. So that's how it is. Some really old OS don't have hot conversion option like Windows 2000 cases needed cold conversions Well, Windows 2000 and Windows NT and all with VMware converter, you can do you can do old hot conversions, Fanny. I don't know, maybe Microsoft product does not support. I have done so many Windows NT and Windows 2000 conversions, hot conversions of using VMware converter. It is possible, but there were some hiccups. When you do that, it needs a reboot and things like that. But you can definitely do hot conversions of that. I don't know about the older, but Windows NT onwards, I have done that. Domain controllers, domain controller. That's what I'm saying. The things that change, dynamically changing, you may want to do cold conversions, because a domain controller is something. It's a directory database. It's a server that keep on changing data, because when people are logging, their passwords are changing, new groups are created, new accounts are created, new machines are created. All these are informations that are coming to the domain controller, and if you do a hot conversion of that thing, during the time of conversion, there may be still data getting changed on the real server, which will not be on your converted VM. So you will have discrepancy in your data. So you may not want to do that. So domain controllers, Exchange servers, SQL servers, and all are not good candidates. But in a company, typically you're talking about major application servers, hundreds and hundreds of servers. You can do conversions, hot conversions. So we are talking about hot conversions here. But if you want to do cold conversion, you have to buy that software called VMware Converter Bootstrap. Blue screens, no problem. Windows 2000 and 2003 and all, I have seen blue screens are happening, things like so. It is a little risky also. So what I used to do, or what even I insist my direct reports, I tell them when they do P2B conversions, basically we go to that business manager. For let's say if I am doing the conversion, this is how I do. Okay, let's say Fanny is the application owner. Fanny's computer needs to be converted. So I go and literally I go with a notebook and do an interview of Fanny. I will interview him, meaning I will ask Fanny, okay, what is this server? What is the hardware of the server? What is the application it is running? What are the risks on this thing? Can I do it during daytime? Can I do it during nighttime? How many people are doing it? What is the impact if the server goes down for some time? Then you will have to take a look, and you have to do a physical look at the server and see what hardware it is. You may want to log into the server, make sure that you know the administrator password, you know how much size is required. So some cases, this is an old server, it may only have one C drive. It may be an old HP server. The C drive may be like 99% full. There may be only 1 GB free space. Now when you convert that to a VM, do you still want to keep 1 GB? No. You may want to give them more space. You may want to increase that 20 GB hard disk to probably 40 GB. See, these are all things you need to ask the application owner. Hey, what are your plans? Are you planning to upgrade this after I convert to a VM? Yes. Okay. If you upgrade, how much space you want? Okay, I need 10 GB. Okay, then I will give you 15 GB. Okay, right now your server only has 512 MB memory or 1 GB memory. I can give you 2 GB. You have to decide that, or you have to discuss that with your owner. So interviewing and spending time with the application owner, trying to understand what is there in that server is very important. For example, let's say you are in a medical company or something. When you are in medical company and all, there may be many medical equipments will be connected to the server using serial ports, using parallel ports, maybe printers attached to the servers. These are all rare cases, but it can happen. There may be dongles. I don't know how many of you are familiar with dongles. Many old products like Solima, Rubica, Expression, these are all print job applications. These applications have licenses. These licenses are USB sticks, which are basically put it on the back of your server. It may be something like a USB thumb drive. The license will be inside. It's called as a dongle. Yes, it will be inside that thing which is attached to the server. Now you have to think about it. You have to understand whether it is there or not, because if you convert that physical server to a VM, then how do you attach a dongle? How do you attach a printer? You cannot do that. So maybe that may not be a good candidate for conversion. So there are workarounds for it, but that may not be a good candidate. You may not be able to convert that server to a VM very easily. So you have to really understand, because you don't want to get into trouble after converting. You cannot say that, hey, that's the thing, this is the thing, things like that. So pre-conversion tasks and post-conversion tasks, I think you should very clearly differentiate what are the things you need to do before the conversion, what are the things you need to do after the conversion. This is very, very important when you are doing a proper conversion. Also, you need to really understand what the application does, how it does. You may want to know, if you are doing a data center wide conversion, sometimes you may be moving a server from Boston to bringing it as a VM to New York. In that case, you may also need to consider about IP address changes, because in Boston it may be using another IP address. When it comes to New York, it may have to use a new IP address. When you want to do a new IP address, is it being taken care of very well? You can change the IP address, but is the application going to work? There may be many other applications that are trying to talk to the server. So do you make necessary DNS changes? So you may want to update the DNS servers to reflect the new name, the new IP address, and things like that. So people may be calling with the name, but you have to update the DNS server at that point. So there are many, many things you may want to come across. So especially these DNS changes, then you may also want to see, for example, let's say it's a HP server. If it is an HP server running Windows 2003 operating system, let us assume a case, HP server running Windows 2003. Other than the normal application, when it is an HP server, there may be many softwares and drivers that are part of HP will be installed there. For example, HP array configuration utility, HP NIC teaming software, HP SIM software, HP diagnostic utility. There are many things that HP itself will provide. You might have installed on that operating system for managing your HP hardware. Now, when you convert that operating system into a VM, do you need any of that HP software? You don't need them. So you need to uninstall them. That is actually the post-conversion task. You may want to do a lot of cleanup. So you may want to do these cleanups. So clean it up properly. So there is a lot of tasks. You may want to increase the hard disk. You may want to add memory to it. So pre-conversion tasks and post-conversion tasks, you have to have a clear idea what you need to do. I would strongly recommend to go with a book, a table, maybe even a nice table-like sheet, an Excel file. Write down what are the things you identified. Do you know the administrator password? Do you know every application that is installed on that server? Understand what needs to be kept, what needs to be removed. There are many things you want to know when you do these conversions. Okay? It is very, very important. So conversion as such is a very simple process. Probably I would say there are problems, in the past when you do conversions. I have seen VMs getting blue screens. VMs are having problems. Sometimes the conversion will fail, things like that. But over a period, I think conversion products are become much more matured. VMware Converter is, I would say, probably a very mature product. I think I see very less number of blue screens and issues nowadays. Again, I'm not a very big fan of VMware Converter. We use a product called PlateSpin in our company. PlateSpin is actually, I told you yesterday, it's a Novell product. Novell bought that company. It's a very, very famous company. They have a couple of products called PlateSpin Migrate, PlateSpin Convert. There are a couple of products from them. They are very, very famous, and they use some other technology also to do the backend. Actually, if you look at the backend of how PlateSpin works, PlateSpin uses some different technologies to do the conversions. Okay, so so that is the thing. So I was talking for probably now like 10 or 15 minutes, guys. If you can talk like this confidently, then there won't be any questions, because they know that this guy has done migration. If you go and say, no, I converted, I do this, I did this and all, if you say, they know that you are just mugging up. So you should present it in a nice way. Okay, I did the interview, I go and talk to the application, and I make he convert. You have to make him comfortable. At the same time, you have to be comfortable, because you are doing a very critical job. You are doing a very critical step you're doing. You're converting a server. It's a production server. So if it is a production kind of servers, you have to be more careful when you're doing conversion job, because the whole team, is believing in you and relying on your conversion task. They're expecting everything to be working. You cannot say after conversion, oh, you know what, 9 out of 10 applications are working, but this one application is not working. That is not possible. So when you talk about computers and when you talk about technologies, you are looking at 100 out of 100. You cannot say, oh, you know what, out of 10 applications, 9 are working, 1 is not working. That is not possible. So you have to make sure that everything is working as before, maybe in a much more better fashion, and that is why conversions needs to be done, and that is how you can take the confidence of the business teams, and then you can do probably more conversions. You got what I'm trying to explain. I'm not teaching here, I'm just talking about real facts. So this is what is more important than doing this conversion job. How you do it, how you convince the people, how you can make the your counterparts and business teams comfortable, and that is the most key thing when you're doing conversion. So here I have this tool, we have this tool, that is what we're going to do. So when you do VMware Converter tool, what exactly it does is, it do couple of things. Basically, you have a physical server here. Let us say this is the physical server, and you have your VMware Converter software is running on this server. Let us say this is running on a Windows server. This is your VMware ESX servers. So I'm going to convert this yellow server to a VM. So when I do the conversion, basically what it does is, the conversion thing, what it does is, it actually connects to the server, read all the information, and it will install a small agent inside this. It's called as a converter agent. It installs this agent, then this agent and this server works together in moving this whole server into a VM. It is a live migration. The server is currently in the network, but you at the same time in the back end you are converting it into a VM. Okay? So that is how the conversion works. So we will going to look into it. The thing is, that I have a server, that is what we're going to do. That's a DC1. This DC1 is a physical server. You have to believe, I don't know how to show. This is a Dell server actually. This is a Dell server running into. How can you know? There is no VMware tools here. You can see that. The best way to show you that this is a physical server is basically, how can you find out whether this is a physical or a virtual machine? Anybody tell me? How do you know whether this is a VM or a physical server?
Deepu, you can always check the NIC.
Okay, so NIC is not, you can just actually go to the device drive. So if you go to the device manager of a Windows server, it will tell you whether it is really a physical server or not. By looking at the drivers, you can see that. So if you look at the, can you see any VMware drivers? Nothing. Look at the network card. It's a Broadcom Nextstream network card. This is what Fanny said. That's the best thing to check. So this is actually a physical server. If you look at this one, let me show you now this one. This is a physical server. Again, go to the Manage Computer and go to Device Manager. It will have network adapters, but you can see that it is a VMware driver. Look at the disks, it's a VMware disk. Look at the drivers, VMware driver. Look at the CD-ROM, everything is VMware stuff. So this is actually a virtual machine, whereas the one I showed you earlier is a real physical server. So the real physical server I showed you is this DC1. This server is having two drives. It is a C drive and a D drive. The C drive is where the operating system is installed. And you can see that the C drive, the total size is 31.2 GB and it is only having 5.5 GB free space. I'm going to convert this server into a VM. It has many drivers, many applications, everything is there. This is going to run. I'm going to do a live conversion of this server. And believe me guys, I'm showing you this, but I will not allow you guys to do this because this is my domain controller. But I can allow you to do, you can do a lot of B2B conversion, which is the same process, but this one I'm showing, so watch this carefully because I don't have any other physical servers here to show. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to convert this server, but I'm not going to convert this D drive because it's going to take a long time, because it is 2 drives and it has to make a conversion of these 2 drives, means it will take 2-3 hours. So I'm only going to convert the C drive. When I convert the C drive, it is going to come up with the operating system, everything. And at the time I convert, I also want to make sure that I want to increase the C drive size of the converted VM to probably 50 GB. So we will see all that things. Okay. So this is what I'm going to do now. So this is the server I'm going to do. So to do the conversion, I'm going to the converter machine. Click on convert a machine here. So you know that first of all you need to do all the interviews and all. So now I decided, okay, I'm going to do that. It is a domain controller, but I'm not going to do hot conversion. I'm just going to show you a hot conversion. So click on the convert machine. You get this screen. So there are a couple of things here you need to look at here. VMware infrastructure, virtual machine, source type, what are you going to convert? So if you want to do a physical server, you should select the power on machine. You should select this. VMware changed this product a lot. This is the latest product. This is how it looks like. They changed a lot. I like the older ones. I'm not very comfortable with this one, but anyway, this is what it is. So you can do virtual machines and Hyper-V server. See, VMware also providing that to convert Hyper-V servers to VMs. You can do that. Anyway, I'm going to talk about a physical server to convert. We are doing a P2V migration here. So here is the thing. Now you have to give the IP address of the machine. Typically, if you can give the IP address, that is better, because you don't want name resolution issues and all. So I know the IP address of the server I'm going to convert. It is 10.10.2 because DC1 is actually 10.10.2. Ping DC1. If you do that, it is 10.10.2. That's IP address. So I'm giving the IP address of the machine. It is ABC/. I'm giving the administrator password. It is the family. You can select what OS family. This is the same. Click next. The remote has a certificate, has this problem. That's fine. You can ignore that. Basically, it is just that's some certificate. So basically, what is now the converter is doing is converter is trying to connect to that machine. It did connected to that machine, and now it is asking, okay, source is 10.10.2. You see that source is 10.10.2. Now you're going to convert this 10.10.2, that is the DC1, and what are you going to do? Where are you going to make it? You're going to make it into a VM, or you want to make it a virtual machine. So I'm going to say virtual infrastructure VM. Where you want to put it, vCenter 5, or you want to put it, is it vCenter 5? No, we have to put it to VC51, correct? That is our vCenter, right? And you need to give administrator thing. So I'm going to give administrator welcome one. That's a password for it. Are you all good with this? Any questions here? We will come back here, okay? Click next. What is this? I don't know. It crashed. It's a new problem. I'm first time seeing it crashed anyway. The converter crashed.
Deepu, does it go to VC or ESX server?
It is using vCenter. It didn't actually go through. Let me see what happened. You can move it to a you can directly move it to a ESX also, okay, if you want, but I'm just going to move it to vSender only. So let's give the IP address instead of that. I don't know why it crashed. I never seen that problem before. Let's see what happens. Okay, it is showing the problem. Visual Studio, I think it's trying to debug the problem. I think you have a problem, man. Let's try one more time, okay? Hold on. Hello, this is Deepu. Okay, so that's not going to work. So what I'm going to do is, looks like it's a 32-bit application problem. So let me go and get a VM. So do we have any Windows? See, this is the problem. In this class, there is no VM. Is there any VM I can use? Windows 2008 VM. I think 3 has some VMs, right? Guys, any server here is having operating system? Which one is having? I don't know. Okay, that's good. Is it 64-bit? This is R2, right? And okay, I'm going to use this machine to install it, okay? Just to show you guys. This is our old vCenter 5, right? This is our old vCenter 5. I'll use this to install the converter. Let's see. Aravind, what's the password? Welcome one. So we have to install it on here and see whether we can fix this problem, guys. Oh, vConverter is actually an exe, right? This is how the time will go, man. I wanted to do a lot of things, but shit. Are you all understanding what I'm trying to do here? I'm trying to copy it and we're going to install the vConverter on this box. I think it was a operating system problem or something. So anyway, I'm trying to do it on this box. vCenter 5. This was our old vCenter. Maybe you can change that to vConverter now. Okay, so I'm going to install it. This is something we did yesterday. It was a fast installation, so we don't have to worry about that. Hopefully it will get over fast. thing is, the conversion itself will take an hour to complete. So, let us try to do it, and then we will talk about something. The problem is I have to finish today at 9:15 because I have to join for a call at 9:30. So we have to finish the class at 9:15. And tomorrow there is class again. Setting up one more class tomorrow, guys. And then if I don't think I'll be able to finish it tomorrow, so probably sometime next week. The thing is, the whole week I have so many things. Actually, my daughter's birthday and other programs are there. I thought of finishing it. Let's see, maybe I'll do one more class sometime next week, but you can use the lab. Okay. I mean, I'm not sure about the next week class, Arvind. I will try to see if I can fix it today. Hello. Class leader. Okay, bye. Yeah, so let's see, how much we can do today and tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow I will see what I can do. Probably I'll finish, and then I want to have one class with Fanny, but I may not be. There are many things I can talk around, but as I said, I have to put a stop. We have already covered a lot. Single looking for one more. What is that? Okay, so we have this installed now. So let us try to do this converter from this server, okay? So here's the converter. I'm going to try one more time. Let's see what happens here. Okay, this is where we had the problem. Okay, it is crashing here also. That is very interesting, man. I don't know what is the problem. Why the heck it is crashing? I never seen this problem before. Arvind, I have to delete these two machines, man. Of course, you have to learn Windows, man. So you should know Windows and Linux. It's good. If you don't know, I don't know how it is, but I expect a VMware administrator or a virtualization guy to know Windows or Linux at least. So what I now expanded the drive and only saw that, right? So you should be doing that. What is this, man? Everything is problem today. Santosh, you came almost an hour late, man. We are about to finish now. Look at what Sujan said, you know. But here also now there is problem with the space problem, right? What's happening, man? I'm getting really pissed off with all these things. It's because the first thing is, the thing is, nothing is, I don't know, everything is good. Sri is not there, so Sri's wife is recording and I think she forgot to mute, so I'll mute her. What is going on, man? Here, what is happening? No voice. Everything is. All my environment is stuck. I think it's all slow and all because there's no space, a lot of VMs. What happened to this VM now? Why is it not showing screen? What the heck is this? I mean, we never had all these problems. Now only we started seeing these problems, right? I don't know. If this doesn't work, I don't know, man. It never had a problem. I teach this every class, but this time, I don't know. First time this is crashing, so I need to do some Googling to find out why it is crashing. Let's see one more time, guys. 10.10.10.2 ABC slash. This is the physical server we're going to convert. That is a domain controller. That's why I have to give the domain admin credentials. How do I click next? What the heck is going on? No way. I don't know, man. I don't have any idea why it is crashing. I don't have any idea why it is crashing. So it used to work very well, and actually on this server it used to work very well. I don't know why it is crashing now. No, this is the same file I used to download. I don't think the download file is corrected because we installed it correctly, right? Okay, but why not try that anyway? I have a little bit more time. I'm going to do that now.
Deepu, shall we move on to the next topic and we can return back onto this again?
No, I mean, I'm not in the mood to teach now, so I want to troubleshoot this, otherwise I'll stop it.
Yo mà gì cũng vậy. Nó nói được gì? Alright.
Hey, alright.
Wait.
Oh, okay, this is a bug, man. Shit. You see that? If you are using 5.1, it will convert. That's the problem. See, that's why I said I
So,
never had
guys,
the problem. So
how you
VMware Converter
been?
will crash when using vCenter 5.1 as a destination. That is the problem. So it's a vCenter is causing the problem. It works with 5. Okay, good. So that is a good catch. I should have done that. Okay. So the problem is it is crashing when we are pointing it to vCenter 5.1. That is a problem. That could be a bug or something. We may have to look into it. But I'm not going to do that. Instead, what I'm going to do is we can convert it directly to a ESX server, which they are saying is okay, 5 point thing. And then otherwise we can try. Arvind has installed a 4.1 server for us yesterday. So we can try that. Correct, Raiden?
No, I haven't created one.
Come on, you said you're going to create, right? And
Yeah,
you
but it's not
patched
ready
also. You said you're going to patch also.
Come on. You know, time is not sufficient. If we have had a class at 8:30, I could have done that. But you know, it's very crunchy time.
Okay, so that was the problem. That's why it was crashing when we give the vCenter 5, it was crashing. So it could be because of some other problem. Okay, it's 9 o'clock. I have now another 2 hours work also. I'm going to do it. So how was the debate yesterday, Ryan? Did you change your mind? Is time still there? Romney is counting the number of ships and sitting there, right? You heard the answers he has given, right? How can you make that guy a president, man? Okay, 10.10.2 ABC/. Here I'm going to give 10.10.10. What was that server which we put outside? 95, correct, guys? What was the server we removed from the cluster? 95, right? Root and password. Okay, it's doing the same shit. See that? Horrible. This is always the problem when you do new products. You know, when you buy a product, you know, don't try to install or use anything that is new. Wait for at least one update one or one service pack. You know, so. That's the problem. So VMware itself is saying that's a KB article. They're saying it's a bug, it's a non-problem. So they're saying to take this server out of the host, or even if it is managed, you take it out of vCenter 5 and you try, it should work. That's what they're saying. So let us try that option. Anyway, that's a good learning for me. That's good. So that's fine. So let's say it's going to crash. I'm going to try one more time now. Next. It is still crashing, so what? That's probably because we have to restart that server. Okay, I have another option. Now we know what the problem is, so I'll try. See that? So that is an ESX 3.5 server. That is my old ESXi 5 and it works. So, sorry, it is ESXi 3.5. You see that, guys? Unfortunately, that is the case. So I don't have space there. Let me see. I can do something here to show you something here. Anyway, at least it's working. It's not. It's a bug. We proved that that's a bug. So problem is, I think I have a 201. Okay, guys, so can anybody reinstall one of the server, the one I told you, 95? Can anybody reinstall it as 4.1 or 5? Anything, please do that. Okay, 5 is, looks like 5 is not working. Sorry, 5.1 is not working. Okay, so right, and go ahead and do that. It is 10.10.10.17 is the thing. 10.10.17 is the IP. Let me see, I have some space here. Okay, there is local storage. There is actually some space here on this server. On the local storage too, I have a 55 GB free space here. Okay, and 77 GB on this thing. This is my old ESX 3.5 server. So guys, we're going to use this server to do the conversion. I want to do that conversion. Sorry, we want to do that conversion for sure. So I'm going to do this. I have only like 10 minutes left. I have work, but let us finish that. And then we will look into the converted one today. Anyway, it's not going to complete it. So here is the thing. I have a powered on VM. This is the server I'm going to convert. This is the DC1. It's a domain controller. So I'm going to give the domain administrator credentials. Okay, I'm doing that. And now you know the bug, so I'm going directly to my ESX i3.5 server. I'm giving the password here, and moving forward it is seeing all the servers. So this is that server I'm going to convert. Click next. It is asking, that's the name of the server. It is asking me where do you want to put it. So I'm selecting my bigger storage. It has 279 GB. I have 77 GB free space there. That is the host. I'm going to convert this VM to, I mean this physical server, I'm going to convert it as a VM to this server. Okay. Click next. So here, this is where you do some customization. I'm rushing a little bit. We will talk about this tomorrow. Now we know what the problem is. But guys, if you want to do practice, you have to reinstall that server, okay, whoever it is. Please fix. So right, and it is your job to get that 91 server reinstalled with ESX i5 or ESX4. ESX i5 is good. I think you have the ISO file there. You try to do that. So here is the thing, guys. This is what I'm going to, I was telling, that server, the DC1 I showed you, we had 2 hard drives. I don't want to do this D drive conversion. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to do that. I removed D drive. The C drive is 31 GB, but I'm saying that is not enough. So I wanted to actually increase the space of that. So you can come here and you can type in GB, how many GB I want. I wanted the C drive to be 50 GB. So now, even though the actual server C drive is 32 GB, after converting, if you power on that DC1 as a VM, you're going to see that it is 50 GB in size. So that is what I did here. And I'm also ignoring the D drive. I said I don't want to convert D drive. These are all your choices, but I'm not doing it because we don't have time to do that, and we don't have space also. So it is going to the local storage 200, local storage _ 300 200. That is the local storage of that particular ESXi 3.5 server storage, and that is where it is going to put it. 77 GB free space is there, so I can easily put a 50 GB VM there. And these are the page file things and all. There are some other things. You want to edit the VM with the memory and all those things. Currently that server is having 2 GB RAM. You want to make it to 4 GB, you can do that. You want to add network cards, you can do that. These are all the services that are running on that server. Application server, remote manager service, Windows Audio, Bugzilla. There are many things that are running on that server. If you really want to stop any of the services during the conversion or after that, you can do that. So this is the source services. If you want to stop any of the service during the conversion process, you can do that. After the conversion process, do you want these services to start? These are all some of the new features of the converter. For example, let's just fake a SAV ROM. You don't want that service to start after conversion. It may be an HP service. You don't need it. You can actually disable that so that when you convert it and when it comes as a real VM, it is not going to start that service. So you have to identify those services. I'm just showing something. VM backup and service. I don't want that VM backup and service to be started when I convert it. I'm just showing some VM backup and fast SCP. I don't want to. So these are the things. During the conversion process, do you want to stop any services that are on the original server? Typically or preferably, you may not want to do it. So this is a P2V. I'm actually converting a physical server here. So these are the things, but this is actually a Dell server I'm actually converting. So those are the things. Then you come to the edit thing here, synchronize. This is actually the new feature. This is for some continuous replication. If you are converted after that, if the original server keep on changing, it will keep on synchronizing the changes. You don't want to do that. Post conversion, after converting, do you want to power on the destination machine? I would strongly recommend not to do that. You make sure and you power on automatically. Put it in an isolated environment and power it on. Because if you power on the VM into the actual network, then you're going to have a duplicate IP address issues and things like that. So make sure that your converted VM will come up only in an isolated environment. If it comes up in a real environment, you know the problems, right? Do you want to power off the source machine? You want to? No, you don't want to. If you want, you can do that. This will power off the original machine and power on the VM. You want to do that or not, it is your choice. I'm not going to do that. Do you want to install VMware tools on the new VM? Because the physical machine is converted to a VM, and after that, do you want to install VMware tools? Sure, I want it installed. So these are some of the things. So and then some CPU settings and all these are like these are general things. So guys, just quickly going, and I'm running fast. I know we'll talk about this in detail, but this is how you do conversion. So the converter has improved a lot. There is a lot more features now. Like you can disable the services. You can go some advanced option post conversion tasks. You can do a couple of them, not all, but at least this service thing is very good. You can decide what services to start. Otherwise, you see, when you convert a physical server and make it to VM and you power on the VM, you're going to see a lot of service failures because HP services, HP NIC teaming software, that all are going to fail because there is no more HP hardware there. So if you have those kind of things, you can actually disable them by using this feature. So anyway, I have done all these things. Remember, the C drive is going to be 50 GB and I'm not making any changes to any hardware here. Click next. These are the things. This is how it is. The powered on machine, the actual physical server we're going to convert is 10.10.2. Definitely, you should have the password, everything to be known then only, because this is going to install an agent inside that server, and that agent is the one that is doing the conversion for you. So this is the new virtual machine name is going to be dc1.abc.com. You can give it a new name, but this is how the VM is. The name of the VM is going to be this. These are all the details, and these are the services I have disabled. I'm installing VMware tools, all this. This is a summary of all the things, and you click finish. It took us all 1 hour. I would have definitely tried to Google it. You can install ESXi5. You can install ESXi5. So guys, here you can see that it is doing the conversion now. It is slowly started. It is probably talking, it is talking to the server. Typically, I have seen conversions fail. If it fails before 5%, then it is something else. If it passes that 5% mark, I would say then it will not fail. In the past, there are many stories, if it fails at 95% and later 96%, you still have your image good. If it fails before 5%, then there is a major problem. But once I always see that once it crosses 5%, I never seen a failure. So those are some things probably you may want to look at it. So I'm just saying some of the old things, but those things are all gone now. Hold on, guys. No need of any VMs. Just leave it there. No need to add anything. I need only the local drive. So guys, this is what is going to happen. You can close this. There is no problem. You can actually close this and do that. You can do the same thing to do VMs also. Right, and if you have time, why don't you go and build a VM also there? That's not a problem. Okay. No need to build. If you want, you can build a VM, but I am not really asking you to do that. So guys, this is the thing. So at least I'm glad that we are able to complete this. Actually, you were able to see what are the things. So it was a bug. So just keep that in mind. It does not work with VMware Converter 5.0, does not work with vSphere 5.1. So they may come up with some fix. Sri, actually we didn't do much, man. I know you were walking your wife through the process of recording. That's why I muted you actually. There was some sound coming up. But actually we didn't do much. We just initially first 10-15 minutes I was talking about the process of doing conversions and all. But after that we had some trouble getting the converter working. So we were trying different options. But now we realized that converter cannot work with vSphere 5.1. So it was a bug, and now we identified a problem. We are trying to do that against a 3.5 server now. Yes, it is administrator and password. Okay, so guys, this is going to take time, especially our servers are all VMs and all slow. So this is going to take some time. So I know you don't have access to that server. I will show you all this VM tomorrow. Hopefully this will complete by another 2 hours. I normally know that it takes around an hour and a half to 2 hours to complete. So you can actually do that. Okay, it's moving 2% now. Okay. So guys, again, thanks, and I'm sorry for this. So we will have class tomorrow. I think I have not sent a meeting invite for tomorrow's class. Did I? No, there's no class meeting I sent for tomorrow. I will send a meeting invite for tomorrow's class. I'm not saying tomorrow's class is the last class, but tomorrow's class is probably the second last class. Then there is no class this weekend because I have so much things to take care, guys. But you can use the lab. There is class tomorrow. No class on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Also, there is no class. There is actually a problem. So probably this Monday, 29th, or Tuesday, 30th, I will set up a class. And probably we'll go through something, and then later let me see what we can do with Fanny and we can look at something. But I'm not promising that. But first of all, I want to finish the VMware stuff. So there is definitely class tomorrow, VMware class. There is tomorrow class, and tomorrow's class again, guys. I think let us do it at 7:30. Is that everybody okay with it? 7:30 tomorrow. I'm converting a physical Windows server. Yes, I'm converting a physical Windows server now. We'll talk about this in detail tomorrow. I'm actually right now converting the DC1, the other box which I normally teach. That's a Dell server. I'm converting that to a VM right now. So, guys, tomorrow 7:30 is the class. Shri, make sure that you join. Santosh, update your calendar, okay?
Deepu?
Yeah.
Can we actually go further tomorrow in the class? Like, you know, because we kind of like hurried through a lot of the things.
No, tomorrow I'm not going to talk about this. We will be doing this. So what do you mean by other things? We will be talking about other stuff tomorrow.
No, I mean, we kind of like rushed near the end, so I'm just saying, like, since we start early, can we actually like go till like 10 o'clock or 10:30 and just, you know, take it slow?
Correct. That's what my plan is.
Okay.
So I wanted to do a longer session tomorrow, if possible, 10:30, 11. So we will start at 7:30 tomorrow. And hopefully if I get 3 or 4 hours, I can finish it tomorrow. And then we will have one class. So that's what I'm planning. So tomorrow I will be definitely covering host profiles. I wanted to touch distributed switch a little bit. And then there is something like storage clustering is there. If possible, I want to talk about that. So there are a couple of things. Those are the things only left actually. But how far I can go in those things is what important. So we'll see tomorrow. We'll start tomorrow at 7:30, guys. There is actually storage DRS and storage clustering feature is there from a storage side itself. But I will try to talk a little bit about that. We'll talk about distributed switch tomorrow. And see whatever is not finished, we will try to see next week if possible. Okay. And there is actually one more other class that other than the VMware. There is a class I normally do about preparing yourself for interviews. Basically, how to attend the interview, how you talk. People, for example, now, right? And I know you're going to make, and I will also help you with making your resume. I will send you some sample resumes. I know, Fanny, you are not looking for a job, but there are many others looking for a job. So you want to you want to make your resume. Let's say you put your resume with 4 to 5, 6 years experience in VMware, and when you go for an interview, and if that guy asks you, okay, tell me about your VMware environment, what are you going to answer? So that is what that last class is, which I will definitely do it on Monday. I think Monday or Tuesday next week I will take a class for you to go through that. That is a must attend class. I think I have always got great feedback about that particular class, which makes many students say that that makes them to attend the interviews well, because you putting 6-year, 7-year experience in VMware. When you go for interview, they're going to ask you what type of environment you worked. You don't need to say that you worked in Microsoft like Fanny's environment, but at least you go to say you worked in a decent environment, right? So how do you present it? How many servers? How many VMs? So there was a guy who I really interviewed recently. He came and he was lying. He said he had around 300 plus ESX servers, and then I asked how many VMs he had, and he said they have around 500 VMs. So 300 ESX servers and 500 VMs means you know what he is saying about, right? So that kind of mistake you should not do. Again, 300 ESX servers and 20,000 VMs, that's also could be a problem. So you got to give a pretty good number, how to do that, how many servers, how do you report, who is your working environment, how is your environment look like, do you have multiple data centers. These are all the things probably we will discuss in that class. That is not a VMware class, that's more about a general discussion. So we'll do that. But tomorrow, guys, 7:30, Let's plan for that. Tomorrow will be the last class, and then I will do the Monday class, and then we will ask Fanny to show something maybe in the coming week. I don't know. We got to see that. I have some other thing because I have some DR work coming up. So, guys, thanks again. I know we lost some time. Actually, I thought of talking about host profiles today, but unfortunately, it didn't happen. So let's do it tomorrow. This is going to continue. You can close this. It doesn't matter. The converter will continue to do its job. You know that it is doing DC1. If you look at here, you can see that DC1 is still running here. The conversion is going on. If you look at add remove programs, this is the server that we are converting. Okay? If you go to the add remove programs of this server, you can see that the VMware converter agent is running there. Where is that? It's changed. Here is the thing. VMware vCenter convert standalone agent. This is the agent that is currently doing the job. This is the one that is actually converting. Once the conversion is over, this will be automatically uninstalled. Okay? All right, guys. So good night, and we'll talk tomorrow. Okay? Bye. Thanks. I got to run, actually.